All right, the next one is The Fog. So I have the Blu-ray, and I also have the 4K as a part of the John Carpenter 4K pack that I bought. So I did not pick up the one that you have because I
Yeah.
didn't feel like I needed to.
No, I mean, like, honestly, like, if you have that version, I think you're good. I was very happy to get this one, and I actually do ramble about this a little bit in my review, but I have the steelbooks for Assault on Precinct 13, Prince of Darkness, The Thing, They Live. I think that's it. But I have all those as a Blu-ray steelbook, and I just had The Fog as a regular Shout Factory. But I was like, I was so
That
happy.
is cool,
Yeah,
though.
it's so cool. I really wanted to get the steelbook version, especially, and then like it does look really good on 4K. Here, I'll hold it up.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about, and I love this movie. I say in there that like the Funhouse is my favorite Tobe Hooper movie over Texas Chainsaw. Even though I love Texas Chainsaw, The Fog is my favorite Carpenter over Halloween and The Thing, even though I love both of those movies. But The Fog is also set on my birthday, and it got pirate ghosts. So,
11:55. Just time for one more story. One more story to keep warm. I don't know, that to me, that opening narration is just, it's one of my favorite things. It's something
Mine
that I
too.
will recite to myself in the shower.
Hell yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe it's the way the guy's voice is, or just the whole
I you know
campfire thing.
I made an argument for this because some of my horror friends out here are like they thought that The Fog was kind of slow. They're not. It's not like one of their favorite Carpenter movies, and I'm like, I disagree. The movie sets it up as it is a campfire story. That is how the movie presents itself from the start. And so if you really think about that and you think about how campfire stories are presented, they are very slow so that you can feel the chills in the night and you can like appreciate all of the tension. And I think The Fog does it wonderfully. It's so creepy. The set pieces are so cool. You have an ensemble cast who each has like their own like mini arc, and the ghosts are so freaking scary. Like, oh my god, and you never get a good look at them.
No. You either see the hands or the arms or the eyes or you never really see the full thing, and you see their cloaks,
Mm-hmm.
But let me read the back real quick.
Do it.
When the fog rolls in, the terror begins. This moody horror classic from master of terror John Carpenter and producer Deborah Hill stars Adrienne Barbeau, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tom Atkins, Hal Holbrook, and Janet Leigh. Don't get lost in the fog. The sleepy seaside village of Antonio Bay is about to learn the true meaning of the word vengeance. This seemingly perfect town masks a guilty secret, a past steeped in greed and murder. Exactly 100 years ago, a ship was horribly wrecked under mysterious circumstances in a thick, eerie fog. Now, shrouded in darkness, the long-dead mariners have returned from their watery grave to exact a bloody revenge. 1980s, The Fog. 90 minutes. And first of all, it's one of those scores. The music of this movie is one of those movies that I'll listen to it while I write. Not only do I love because it has the narration in there too, the beginning, the campfire. That's how the album opens. But music's great. Like you said, the set pieces are great. The whole atmosphere. It's a really small, contained story too. The criticism, I guess, of it being slow. Again, like with the Funhouse, it's set up and it's sort of playing off of I don't know. It's kind of like, I think Carpenter does a great job of setting suspense. Like there's that scene and where they're looking for the priest, and the priest pops out kind of like a ghost would, kind of just a fake jump scare type thing.
Well, he makes a jump scare too of like the brick falling. to reveal the journal.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then, that there's some comedy too, where like Jamie Lee Curtis gets in that truck. She's like, "Are you weird?" The driver or whatever. It's just some funny dialogue.
Yeah. I do love that she immediately had sex with Tom Atkins. We got to see this movie as part of a triple feature with Tom Atkins, like probably 2019. And that was funny because like everybody would cheer whenever he was doing something, and so like when they like cut to them like post sex, everybody just cheered. And I was like, all right, sure, why not?
That's hilarious. No, I think when this movie came out, it wasn't really well received from what I've read.
No, probably not.
And this was I believe this is the follow-up to Halloween for Carpenter.
I think so. I'd have to check that. But yeah, like I think he got a bigger budget after Halloween, and he used it for this. And I just fucking love it. Like I think he did such a great job.
Well, this was low budget too. It was only $1 million. Actually, Assault from Precinct 13, Halloween, then The Fog. So yeah, it was after Halloween.
Yeah. How much did he spend on Halloween?
$300,000 to $325,000. So.
Okay, but still, like $1 million.
Yeah, that's double. Pretty much double.
That's a huge like budget increase from one to the other.
Yeah. And I listened. There was a couple interviews on here, and I forgot which one, but there was one where it was. I guess they used like so many different fog machines, and they had to like really. It was kind of a logistics problem trying to gather all the fog and kind of to keep it kind of eerie and creepy, and they shot it on the coast of California.
Yeah, it has that vibe.
Yeah. So how did you discover The Fog?
This one I'm not as sure about. I think I was just going through a Carpenter phase where I was like trying to watch all of his movies, and this one I really fell in love with. I remember like when we were in like late high school and early college, and we were watching some Carpenter films. I showed like Ricardo like Prince of Darkness and a couple other and that one I understand. We kind of made fun of it for a while. We called it the Devil's Piss. And we watched a couple other ones that like were some of his lesser movies. So yeah, like he didn't have a very high opinion of Carpenter for a while, but I remember like I loved this one as soon as I saw it. This is one of my favorites. I think I
blind bought it because of your recommendation.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, so I bought this 2018 or so.
Oh nice. I sometimes watch this like twice a year because I sometimes watch it around my birthday, and then I sometimes watch it around Halloween. So like sometimes it's twice, but I love it. It's just so much fun, so spooky. This time Vinny was kind of in and out watching it, but as we got up to like go to bed, he was like, "I still liked it, even though I couldn't. I like fell asleep."
What are some of your favorite scenes?
Well, I mean, like the climax with the church and the lighthouse, I think those are just, it's such unbearable tension. And then like when they give them the cross and they back off, that's so frightening. I love the scene where the babysitter and Janet Leigh's son are in the house and the fog is just drifting all around.
And that's when the arms are coming through the glass and stuff.
Yeah. Like she gets like dragged out into the fog, and then like the little boy is alone. I love every scene with Jamie Lee Curtis and Tom Atkins. They're just so funny. I also think it's kind of funny that Jamie Lee and Janet Leigh are in the same movie and they don't have a scene together. But like Janet Leigh doesn't really interact with like anybody because she's
just on the tower.
Yeah, it is kind of interesting. There's a there's a podcast that Ian got me into called Welcome to Night Vale, and the entire podcast is the radio broadcast in a small town that is having like Lovecraftian sort of nightmare things going on. And I don't know this for sure, but I feel like it was probably inspired by The Fog. Just because like it's a radio broadcast of something supernatural going on in a small town.
Yeah, that was covered up.
Yeah.
Or secret.
It's kind of a Welcome to Night Vale is very tongue in cheek about it. Like, you know, like they're
sounds like an Alice Cooper song.
Yeah, it does kind of have Alice Cooper sort of sensibilities. Like one of the recurring jokes is dogs are not allowed in the dog park. Do not go to the dog park after dark. If you see hooded figures at the dog park, do not investigate.
Walk away. That's great.
Yeah, so it's really fun. I only listened to I think I listened to the first 50 episodes, and that constituted like a mini arc. It's much longer. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I am good here. I don't need to keep going because this could keep going for forever. But it's really a fun show. And I just, it is cool seeing how The Fog influenced other back is cool. Other works of media.
It's almost like, I don't know if this is even a genre. It's almost like a horror noir, the way the smoke plays into it, or the fog plays into it. And the way that the camera, Dean Cundy, I believe, shot this, and who did Halloween as well. And he works with Carpenter, I think, pretty much synonymously together. He's always his DP, but he does the photography in this is amazing. So it sets the mood, and it really encapsulates the creepiness and the supernatural of these pirate ghosts, things coming out, coming back, and then the connection to the priest and what he discovers and all that, and then that climax, like you said, with the cross. It's intense.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Atkins is to pull him off of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's man, this is crazy. But if you guys haven't seen The Fog, I highly recommend it this Halloween season. It's the perfect time to watch it.
It really is. It's a very fun, creeping horror movie. I feel like the 80s is kind of known for its slasher movies, and so this one isn't that. So I feel like it is kind of a different movie to watch from that period. In fact, the other two movies we're talking about are slasher movies, so
it's true. And I think this one too, again, has great practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
If it was made today, unfortunately, it would be computerized pirates. And
I'm not completely against that, because I think the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, they look pretty good and they're fully computerized, but they're not scary in the way that this is, when you can barely see them, and they just seem to be rotting.
And they kind of move slow.
Yeah.
With of course with the fog, which adds a little layer to creepiness to me.
Yeah.
I've driven in early morning fog or late night fog, and you kind of it is a little creepy.
I even put in the review so most of the movie is shot typical 80s, but then the fog comes in and it feels like a different era has come in. We were watching Dracula the other way, the 1931 version with Bela Lugosi, and I just love the exteriors. They just drenched them in fog. I mean, it's probably a slight exaggeration of what was going on at the time, but in those Industrial Revolution days, obviously some areas of the city probably would have been like that, because the factories are just churning out fog. Yeah, it almost looks like that for a lot of the movie. It almost looks like a Universal monster movie has invaded the present of the 1980s.
That's very true. The campfire thing and the slow burn with the girl getting into the stranger's car and what have you, and then it kind of takes another gear, like you said, when the fog arrives, it kind of changes things and makes it that much more creepier. And I could definitely see that influence from the Universal monsters. And I think that's what I kind of meant with the noir feel too.
Yeah.
Go back to the 30s time. I would agree with that.
I just love how smoke looks on camera.
I do too. It's very cinematic.
Yeah, it is. I think that's one of the reasons that the Universal monsters like work so well for me is like they just drench all of the exteriors in fog, and if they're inside, they might be smoking, so there might be like smoke in the.
Exactly. It's like smoking is terrible for you, but it's like it looks so good on film.
It does. That's why we gotta like just have every scene filled with weed smoke. Just the whole thing. No, I'm kidding. But
was there any new special features on the new 4K UHD from the?
Let me take a look. Okay, so 4K restoration by Studio Canal, new Dolby Atmos track, new restored original mono track. Nothing else appears to be new. They didn't put new next to anything else. I already threw out the they have like the cardboard over the top and then along the back. I already threw that out, so I can't like compare with the back of the Blu-ray because I haven't sold the Blu-ray yet. But
yeah, that's why I'm holding on to mine for the special feature because these don't have any special features similar to your Steelbook.
That's pretty cool.
Disc.
For more Return of the Disc, visit returnofthedisc.com.
Check out the audio version of today's show, available on all major podcast platforms.
And be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel.